Okay, I'm going to give you a quick orientation to the course. This is the home screen, and this is the way you should navigate the course. Don't navigate it through the gradebook. You'll miss important things like workbook assignments and things like that. The first thing in the course is the Kings Peak orientation. You can read through these documents. This quiz is worth 4 points. It's a pretty simple quiz. You could try taking it without reading these if you want. It's up to you. The next thing is the orientation for the course. So, and this includes a couple assignments. One is just telling me about yourself. That's the who am I. And this second is the syllabus for the course. So you can read through that and then you'll take a quiz on it. It's worth 4 points. The next two things are just kind of information about the course. You might end up going back to these as you work through the course. So this tells you about the workbooks in the course. Each module has a workbook that you'll work through as you complete lessons, and then you'll submit the workbook at the end of the module. So I put the links to the workbook here, but I also put them in the module. So you don't actually ever need to look at this page. You'll never need to go back to this page, but I figured I'd put all of the workbook links there in case somebody wants to have them all in one place. And the same is true for the live sessions. So we have live sessions every Monday and Wednesday from 12:40 to 1:10. The first live session is just me going through the module. And students have found it helpful. What I do is just talk through the subject for that week and then walk through each of the assignments so that it kind of gives you a heads up of what to look for as you're completing them. On the Wednesday live session, we do more of a discussion-based activity based on the topic of the module. If you can't make it to either one of those, I record them. And the first one is not graded. The Monday session is not graded, but the Wednesday session is. If you can't make it to the Wednesday session, then you would participate in the discussion board. And you'll see that when we get to the module. So these are recordings of past sessions, but you'll also find those in the modules. So I put them here so they're all in one place, but you can also find them in the modules. All right, so now the modules. So that's the bulk of this course is the modules. And by the time you complete this course, you'll have completed about 8 modules. All of the modules are the same. So we're just going to look at module 1, but the rest are structured exactly the same. So every module, before we click on any of these, I'll just talk through like an overview. So every module has an introduction. It's not graded, but it does have a link to the workbook for that module. And then every module is filled with lessons, and that's the primary. So like this is the bulk of the work is these lessons, and this module has 5 lessons, but they won't all have 5. Some might have 3. It's possible some will have 6 or 7. But the lessons are they're all quizzes. So you're going to do a bunch of activities, and then in order to complete the lesson, you'll take a short quiz. And that's why they have these quiz icons. So this module has 5 lessons. Then there is the live session. The live session is, well, we talked about that. But so this is, if you can't make it to the live session on Wednesday, then you would complete this discussion post. And I'm actually going to open it up. So it'll tell you what to post. Back to module 1. The module workbook submission. This is just so. In each of these lessons, you're going to be doing workbook activities, and you don't submit those until you've completed all of them. And that's what this is. So there's no extra work here. This is just you submitting that workbook. Hopefully by the time you get to this, you've already completed it. The module CTA is usually a short response type assignment. So a couple paragraphs, 2 or 3 paragraphs, and it's asking you to think critically, usually across all of the lessons. So it'll try to pull in the topics from all of those lessons into one type of critical thinking response. And then the Module 1 quiz, it's multiple choice, and it has questions from across all of the lessons. And then the participation grade it's a grade you basically give yourself, and you do it once a week or once per module. So that is what a module looks like. Now I'm going to real quickly go through each one of these things. We'll go through one lesson, and then we'll look at the rest of the items real quickly. So the introduction. There's usually going to be a pretty brief summary here. I would read it. It's going to help you put things in perspective. But you're not graded on it. But you will do better on the module if you read it. It has a link to the workbook, so this would be the time that you would make a copy of it into your Google Drive. And then it has a summary of everything that's in the module. So this module has 5 lessons. I'm estimating how long they'll take you, and then the CTA and the quiz. Let's go to the next. Okay, I'm going to go to the first lesson. We won't go to all of the lessons because you don't need to see that. So the first lesson is similar to the module intro. So you're going to have an intro, and then you're going to have tasks, and just go through the tasks one by one. Let's just go through it linearly. So read the lesson. In this case, it is a pretty short reading. It's 3 pages. It's talking about some fundamental principles of government. And then it says complete the module workbook activities for lesson 1. So by this point, you've already downloaded the module workbook, and here it is. And here's the lesson 1 activity. So that's it. You'd complete it, and then you would go and save it, but not turn it in, not until you've completed all of the lessons. And so the last thing you do is complete the quiz. And so I would take the quiz. I'm going to click on that. I would answer the questions. I'm going to go through. I'm getting an error. Hopefully that's not serious. I'll submit the quiz. One unanswered question. That's okay. And so I am done with that lesson. Okay, and lesson 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the same. So we're not going to go through all of those. Let me go back to the module. So once I've completed all of the lessons, I'm going to go to the workbook submission. So I would open that up. I would submit the assignment. So I click Start Assignment. I would put the link to my Google Doc, or I would find it here. I'd go to my Google Drive and find it and attach it. And then I'd submit it. And let's go back to the module. Now on Wednesday, so this is the one thing that you do it on the day that it needs to be done. You don't have to do it in order. So you don't have to finish these 5 lessons before you do the live session. So you do the live session on the day that it happens, whether or not you've completed the lessons. Yeah, we already looked at that. So the Module 1 CTA, we'll look at that. You'll see it's just a quick scenario, and then it asks you to answer it, and it points out, how there's a brief rubric with a little bit of guidance, and that's it. If you did all of the lessons in this module, this CTA would not be difficult. It'd probably take 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. If you really, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but no, I'm not guaranteeing 5 or 10 minutes. But basically, it won't be difficult. And the Module 1 quiz. The Module 1 quiz has questions from all of the assignments. From all of the lessons. It won't be difficult. The questions actually come from the same bank of questions in the lesson quizzes. So most likely you will have already seen all of these questions. So this quiz should actually be pretty fast as well, 5 or 10 minutes, but there's no guarantee. Take as long as you want. And then the participation grade. And so I'll open this up so you can see. Well, it looks like I've already taken it with a student, but here are the 4 questions. I logged into my course this week. Clearly you have, because you're seeing this quiz. I submitted at least 1 assignment this week. You will when you submit this quiz. I participated in a live session. That's on your honor, so yes or no. and then you're going to give me some feedback. And be as specific as you can. If there's something that you liked, if there was a reading that you liked, or a video, or an assignment, or an activity that you liked, tell me. And if you didn't like something, tell me. If it was boring, if the video was too long, if it was too hard, too easy, like, tell me those things. And then submit. And that is it for a module. So you will have completed that module. And module 2, module 3, module 4, they're all going to follow that same pattern. The only difference will be the number of lessons. So some will have more, some will have less. Now, I want to give you a couple tips to be successful in this course. One is the value of the assignments. So there are 2 categories in the gradebook: assessments and assignments. The assessments are worth 80% of your grade. The assignments are worth 20%. So if you do the math, you're going to know the assignments are less important. The assessments are more important. However, doing well on the assignments will help you do well on the assessments. So they're all important, but just be aware in terms of earning points. The points for assignments are less important than the points for assessments. And it's pretty easy to know the difference. The assignments are anything that's lesson-based. So all of these lesson quizzes, the live session, the workbook, the engagement, the participation grade, those are all assignment. Those all fall into the assignment categories. So most of your activities are assignments. The only thing that will fall into the assessment category is the CTA and the module quiz and the final exam. So it's important to make sure you complete these and that you get the score that you want on them. These 2 things will have a larger impact on your grade. The other thing to know about this course, and this is true across all of the King's Peak courses, you can submit everything late. There's no penalty. Don't put it off. This course is pretty big. You're not going to complete it in a week, so don't put it off until the last week. The gradebook, let me give you a quick view of the gradebook. If it says missing, then it means you haven't submitted it. So you don't have to email me or message me and say, hey, did I submit this? Look at your gradebook. If it says missing, then you didn't submit it. If you think you submitted it, you didn't. Like, that's all I can tell you. If it says missing, then you didn't submit it. If it says late, then you submitted it late. And there's no penalty for that. If it says late and there's no score, then 2 things might have happened. One, I haven't graded it yet. So when your assignment is late, you automatically get a 0. That doesn't mean I've graded it. It happens automatically. If it has a 0 and a little comment bubble right here, then it means I graded it and you got a 0, and read the comment to find out why. If you get anything less than 100% on anything, I will leave a comment. So read those comments, and you'll know there's a comment if there's a speech bubble, and unfortunately there aren't any here to show. So late and a 0, look for a comment. If there's no comment, that means I haven't graded it. Late, 0, and a comment, read the comment and find out why you got a 0 or anything less than 100%. And then if it says missing and a 0, that means that it's that you haven't submitted it. Okay, and the last thing is messaging me. You can email me. Students have emailed me directly. I wouldn't. My school email inbox is full of stuff. Stuff from the school district, stuff from my boss, stuff from other teachers. The fastest way to get my response is to message me through Canvas. So use your inbox and message me through Canvas. And that is the way I will communicate with you, is through Canvas. And that's it. I hope that you do well in the course. If you have any trouble or any questions, get in touch with me. Message me through Canvas. I usually answer within a couple hours if it's during the day. If you message at night, then most likely I would answer you the next morning. Good luck.